Hello and welcome to episode 25 of JagaVision. I'm Jared Nyberg, co-owner of Jaga Silk. Really excited about today's show. We have a really good friend of ours joining us, Charles Antoine, with the company Les Simples. He's a fellow we met as an accordion player, travels the world, musician, but he's also a enthusiastic gardener. He's even he's actually so into tea, and we actually met him at the tea festival quite a number of years ago, before the one that we're doing right now. The one we're on, of course, is the Victoria Tea Festival Revival, and I want you guys watching to know that the festival is going forward, albeit in its digital form. We'll have 24 hours of tea insanity, where we will be staying up and having visitors on. Essentially, it's like a big JagaVision, but it's through the International Tea Appreciation Society, and we'll have farmers from all over the world, industry folks from all over the world, and it will go for 24 hours straight on the Monday in November 24th, I think, or 23rd, whatever's the Monday. I think it's the 23rd. And so Ryan Moen, the co-director of the Tea Festival, will be joining me for that. Today, we'll also be joined by Sister Speak, who'll be joining us a little bit later. Her live stream, she's actually currently performing outside of our store. You can catch her streams by joining her Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/sisterspeak, and you should be able to, find her music there. I'm going to start out like I normally do every session. I'm going to be making a tea that I've never had before. So we'll see where I go with that. Probably should do something from our friends at Camellia Sinensis in Quebec, because that is somebody that we were inspired by and that we were introduced to by Charles, who's joining us today, so makes sense. Last time we were in Quebec, we got some beautiful Milan Shang, which is actually, we're buying some Milan Shang for our 2020 harvest from a farmer that we commonly work with, Mr. Chen in Phoenix Mountain. This is a competition grade Milan Shang from the good folks at Camellia Sinensis' competition grade stuff. So we have the unique 150-year-old tea cultivar. Excellent. So let's see how much I have. Hopefully I have the 5 grams I like to make. Ooh, that's so little. Oh, almost there. So 4.4. So normally I do 5 grams for 150. I have 4.4 grams. So maybe gonna be a little bit less. So today, let's see. Gonna grab one of these little pots. Little cup here. See what I can do. Gonna brew with 100 degrees centigrade water, so I'll turn that up a little bit. Like to preheat the teapot, just because what happens is I'm gonna do a little bit of a rinse, but by having a hot teapot to put my tea leaves into, I get a much better sense of the dry aroma. So leaves look amazing. Should probably show them to you. That's what the leaves look like, good folks. And yeah, smell amazing. Wow, like apricots and figs and all sorts of fun stone fruits. I'm going to do a rinse. So essentially I'm just gonna cover the leaves with hot water. I'm gonna let them hang out for a moment, and then I'm just gonna empty that out and not drink it. That's my rinse. So with 4.4 grams of total leaves, normally that's what is that? That's 30. I'm gonna need a calculator. So if I use 5 grams for every 150, that means 150 divided by 5. I believe that's 30, yes it is, and times that by 4.4 means I need a total of 132 grams for the same effect. So that's what I'm going to do, 132 grams. You'll notice how I tared it before I added my, ooh, I'm glad that it's just doing 132. That pot can only hold, I don't normally use this pot so much, even though it's gorgeous and made by a lovely local potter named Katie Fogg. It looks like that's the max it's going to hold, so that worked out well. I guess this was meant to be. But yeah, I tared it before I preheated it, so that the small amount of liquid absorption in the leaves could be taken into account for the final extraction. And then I like to do about 15 seconds. This is a Gong Fu style way of making tea. You can check out some of our selections on our webpage. Go to jagasilk.com/shop. You can see what we're up to. Otherwise, you can just chill and watch the shows. That's always fun too. Gonna be fun tomorrow though. Gonna be performing with my band at the Outdoor Music Fridays that we're doing, and we just decided that they're going so well that we're going to continue doing them into October, even though it's going to be really nice and cold. So if you are coming, make sure you bring a blanket, warm clothes. Oh, that smells nice. I am a sucker for Phoenix Mountain teas. Wow. Yeah, that's really, really good. So we're doing super enjoyable. Super enjoyable. We're going to be enjoying an herbal tea with Charles today. Just one second. What's going to be interesting about that is he's grown it himself. It's also a couple herbs that we use in a blend that we sell here at JagaSilk that have not been grown by him, although I've been trying to get his herbs for quite some time because he's so meticulous and careful. Him and his partner, they do such an amazing job with their teas. And they bring a sensitivity to herbal teas that are really it's something you don't see. It's similar to, say, a craft tea approach, but they're giving that same sort of love to their herbal teas. So what I'm doing right now is Sister Speak's going to be joining us, and she's outside, so I'm just going to be preparing her a little bit of the teas we're going to be drinking so that she can join us. And I'll make another steep of this too while I'm at it. So let's go for 132, I believe it was. Okay. So there's a really nice level of oxidation here. You can really go wrong with your Phoenix Mountain oolongs if you kind of get a little bit too zealous with your oxidation levels, and you can produce something that's not very exciting because you've over roasted. You can also take them a little bit too far when you're withering them, and it's so interesting to have this really craft approach to producing just that perfect level of oxidation, a very careful charcoal roast at the end, and you're left with this really lovely expression of flavor. So 20 seconds. Brewed this one a little bit on the stronger side. I'm normally a lot more specific with my brew ratios, but I'm really enjoying this way of making Phoenix Mountain teas, where it's a little bit more intuitive. But I do weigh the leaves for sure, and I like to kind of feel for the timing on it. But I generally go for 15 seconds, 20 seconds, then 30 seconds for the first, second, and third steep. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. So where was I? Preparing this for Sister Speak. So she now has a scale. She has hot water. she's gonna get herself a little mason jar brewer. And probably need to give her 2 of them because we're gonna be making 2 teas. And we have the teas that came in from Charles. I love how they look. They're in these, I feel like I'm doing something illegal here, but that's okay. This is beautiful. You would never believe how beautiful they smell. So nice. I think there's something about the level of care and when they're harvested and how they're stored and how they're processed that just brings out so much medicinal value and from a flavor perspective, just so much aromatic integrity. It's just amazing. So, yeah. Sometimes when we visited, just once, we've had the joy of visiting him and his partner at their space in Quebec, and they sent us home with some herbs, and yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Look at that. Super intact. I'll show you a little bit more when we're brewing it too, but yeah. That would be the Tulsi. And then the ashwagandha. This is a root. This is pretty whole too. Like the stuff we use for ours is cut and sifted. It's like a process that's used often for making herbal teas. But arguably, by doing that, by opening up more surface area, you're also taking away some complex flavor opportunities, like full leaf teas versus broken teas. Look at that too, eh? Gorgeous. There's a certain, you can't really sense it here, but the chi or the glow, the energy from these herbs is just amazing. Hard to convey through the camera. So we're gonna have that. And then we're gonna need a couple decanters. And we're gonna need another brewer. And I think we'll be in a good place. Okay, so today we're on Twitch again. So if you're watching from Twitch, welcome. Really appreciate you watching. You can also, if maybe you're watching us on YouTube, we are multi or simul streaming this live show. And yeah, pretty excited to have you following us. If you're not subscribing, please go to our YouTube subscription area there and just click subscribe. Hey Micah, can you bring this out to Sister Speak, please? Of course. Thank you. There's also actually one more that I'm going to need you to do, which is this one here. This is ours.
One more dose?
Yeah.
Oh, these look incredible.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Okay, and I think we have Charles on the line. Charles, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, amazing. All right. So Charles is joining us live from Quebec. What is the name of your town that you're living in?
It's Saint Pascal.
Saint Pascal. Okay, with my terrible accent. Can you say it again?
Saint Pascal.
Saint Pascal. Okay, amazing. And what a beautiful village. And you get the joy of making your tea with some of the most incredible spring water available, hey?
Yes, yes.
Which is pretty awesome. So we can't quite see your face, but there you go. But Charles, thank you for joining us. It's like the shadow of the tree. There you go. That's awesome. All right. So you want to maybe say hello to everybody who's watching and explain to them a little bit about your company, Les Simples. How do I say your company name? Les Simples? Simple?
Les Simples.
Les Simples. Les Simples.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so Les Simples. What is it that you do at Les Simples, Charles? You want to tell everybody?
Well, Les Simples, simple means translated to simple.
Okay.
And it's a French expression more used in Europe to talk about the medicinal plants. And they call it simple because it is said that it is the simple form of medicine. So before we transform the plant into more concentrate or we extract chemicals from them, we have the simple medicine. So that's where the name comes from.
Okay. Very cool. And whenabouts did you start? You've been growing your herbs for, as far as I know, at least like 3 or 4 years, if not longer, right? Like maybe closer to what, 5 years?
We've been growing the herbs since 2011.
Oh wow, so a long time. Yeah. See, I don't even remember how old I am. I'm just
Me neither.
It's what a time. One moment, please. Micah or Sunny, I need a USB cable plugged into my phone, and I need you to steal the little white cube that's outside, and so that you can plug into that. And I need it plugged into the hotline phone here as soon as possible, please. Thank you. I'm back. Sorry, I'm about to lose. I'm about to lose you because what's gonna happen is you're gonna lose video on me, but I'm still gonna be here. You'll have the audio, but the video will reconnect if I have you set up on a different camera, Charles. So
that's okay.
So if that camera might die in the next 2 seconds, but I'm still here. The audience can still see me. They can see you, but you won't be able to see me for a moment. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. So this simple is the name for like an herbal blend. Like a blending system, or like I guess it's a way of talking about herbal teas in Europe, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, that's how they call the medicinal plants.
Okay.
It's a synonym for medicinal plants.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you use the that extension cord there? Thank you. Okay, and I got perfect. Okay, cool. So we and now we have a cord across the screen. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see if I can't fix that. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Charles.
That's okay. No problem.
Things aren't going as smooth as I would like them to. Okay. I think there we go. I think you have me now.
I do.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
I see.
So, talk to me. So, Charles, I just want everybody to know, I was explaining in the introduction, I think you were able to listen in a bit, was just that we met you at the tea festival. There's been a many-year affinity in terms of a really, I think, deep interest in culture, in music, in art, and in tea. And I feel like we've had some really amazing conversations about, philosophy and life meaning and all of these fantastic things.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's been so lovely to be able to share these with you. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm really, really glad to have you because it's such a great excuse to have a cup of tea. It's kind of a little bit like, I don't know. It's so fascinating to have these cups of tea from one side of the continent to the other, and to be able to, talk in this way and to see each other also, right? Which is kind of interesting. Yeah. And to be able to have that, I guess just an opportunity to drink tea together, even though the pandemic is really interfering with the ability for humans to interact with each other. So I'm really, this is my long way of saying I'm really happy you're on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. It's so nice to see you again.
Very much.
Been a long time.
And Mew says hi.
Yes, hi Mew.
Awesome. It looks like Sister Speak is having a hard time coming on to the show. I'm going to try and invite her again. Hold on one sec. Okay, there we go. Okay, hopefully that works. And are we good? I'm going to try one more time. Sorry, man.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's interesting. It's wow. Normally these there's one thing I've noticed is that I'm not very good at technology. And and so when I do these shows, Charles, one of the shows in the beginning, I managed to do 20 minutes without any volume. It was amazing. I was a mime. I was a tea mime, and I didn't realize it. I sent you an email too. So I both invited you through Hangouts, and I've sent you. Sherry Ann's actually joining us from outside the shop. She's actually here. She did her live stream, and it just makes more sense to have her own camera and her own sound. So she hangs out outside, even though we share the same bubble. So you got it? Okay, she got it. Amazing. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So back to that. Yeah. So amazing to have you here. If not physically, at least kind of digitally and spiritually. And maybe we can talk a little bit about what is the pandemic done for you, Charles? Like, what kind of insights has it provided for you? What has it done for your herbal farming? That kind of, I guess, yeah. What are some insights perhaps that it's provided for you?
Well, it's sure consolidate, like it made I'm more sure that I'm doing the right thing in life while I am gardening and while I am maintaining a plant community with the gardens. So I'm more sure that it's the good thing to do. So that in big when I do I resume it. I could resume this to that.
Kind of.
It didn't change much the activities of our seasons.
But it was a confirmation of your choices.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It made more sense that we just keep doing that.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Growing medicinal plants and growing our own vegetables. And
your amazing ferments. I have to interrupt for a moment. Sister Speak has managed to join us. Welcome to the show, Sherry Ann.
Hello.
I believe that Sherry Ann and Charles have gone ice skating together in the past.
We sure did. How are you doing, Charles?
Doing very good. And you?
Is there a whistling sound coming out of your audio from my end? I'm sorry.
Yeah. There is some crickets.
Crickets.
Sounds like crickets. Is that ear piercing or is that okay?
No, we're okay on our show. I hope it's okay for the audience. Yeah, we love the crickets. The crickets, you just do what you need to do. Yeah, they're.
I don't know if it's the crickets or if it's the audio like reverberating.
I think the crickets are dancing. I think they're actually, because we're having a hard time. We can't have too many choirs. The crickets are kind of performing, and they're providing sort of a soundtrack to the universe right now. I think that's what's. Yeah. I think that's what's happening. Okay, so life confirmation. I don't know if you knew this, Charles, but Sherry Ann, she is obviously, well, I guess you do know this. She's a career musician, so been interesting, I think, for her too. Just, if you want to, we're just talking about any sort of insights we've learned from COVID and what it is, and its impacts a little bit on our careers. If you wanted to speak to that for a moment, Sher.
Oh, sure. Okay, no worries. Well, it's been interesting. Haven't been able to go ice skating as much. That's really the biggest challenge. In minus 25 degrees Celsius. So that's. I'm just kidding. No, we actually did do that in Quebec. 5 tours were canceled, and I'm taking some time to be a bit more domestic, which is new for me. And I'm actually enjoying it. I'm learning about gardening. I'm learning about different things that might happen when you're living in a house in the countryside, and how to handle it all. And I'm just really feeling like more grounded, I think.
Okay.
I feel oddly grounded when I'm traveling, but I'm finding new ways to be grounded, which has been nice. So I've been doing live streaming a lot.
Nice.
And the Music Fridays have been really awesome for my sanity.
Quite the digital learning curve, hey?
Yeah, you said that you're not good at technology. I think you're amazing at technology. I'm catching up.
I don't know. But Charles, we've been doing these music Fridays. We were closed at the Tea Bar for since March. We haven't been open to the public. We've been selling online, and we've been supporting our wholesale customers, but we haven't had a chance to really see the public because of there's a lot of reasons, but we decided to keep it simple but try and do something meaningful. And so Sherry-Ann, through her label that she runs, Resonation, and Jaga Silk Music, we kind of did this cooperative effort where we managed to bring in some amazing musical artists. We have Sister Speak performing, and there's been this sharing of music. And then people come down to the tea bar and they have a tea and a dessert, and they buy their tickets by the bubble. So you have like a 4-person bubble or a 2-person bubble, and you just kind of hang out. And it's been awesome, actually. And then what you should do, I should send you the link, but you can actually tune into these shows live through a Zoom call. That for anybody watching, if you just go onto the Facebook event page, you can click on the PayPal link, and you just do a donation. It can be 1 penny if you want. It can be $1,000 if you want, whatever you want to do. And then we send you a Zoom link, and you can join the call where the performances are happening. So it's pretty fun. We're kind of like this. It's like mixing the digital and the physical world. Maybe we are all just experiencing a little bit of the Matrix right now, I think, is what's going on. It's this like very super physical experience is kind of what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see your garden and your space and the greenery and it is very Charles. It's awesome.
So cool.
Yeah. What you want to show us a little bit about your setup there? What do you have going on? What's on display there?
Yes. Okay. Well, I have the Tulsi and the Ashwagandha that you sent in this pot right here. So I follow the instruction.
Okay.
And I was brewing the Tulsi from here as well, and I put 6 grams in there. So I put 6 grams too in there, but it doesn't have to be compared because there's the Ashwagandha also already in this one.
Right.
But in this pot I made some ashwagandha, simmered it for 10 minutes.
Right, like you told me.
Yes.
You were suggesting I do that in the email. I do plan on giving that a try. I'm not sure if I have the setup right now on the show to do it, but I thought it'd be cool to do a little bit of an extract. You had an alternative suggestion where we might be able to brew at 5 minutes at a hot temperature, and you weren't sure quite the ratio that we should use, but you were going to leave that up to me, kind of thing. I think you were saying.
Yeah, if you end up mixing it, well, I want to taste your mix, and this will give me a base to judge how to mix it approximately.
I wish that I had sent you the herbs before blending.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That would have been really interesting. I think that would have been a more I don't know, a more accurate or a more meaningful cupping, right? So we could taste it, but we'll have to do our best. I think if we, and also the ashwagandha is so dense and it's so heavy when it's in the full root form. I think it'll be really an interesting challenge to try and figure out what is the ratio that we're going to have for this. So, but I'm interested. So you're suggesting that we brew up some of the stuff we sent you first, the Tulsi and ashwagandha, and Sherry-Ann, I sent you 4 grams, or I gave you 4 grams of the Tulsi ashwagandha that we have here. And actually, Charles, the very first show of JagaVision was on this blend. So this is kind of like, it's oddly a little bit of a repeat, but in no way is it a repeat because we get to talk to you, the fellow who's growing this stuff. So what an interesting reinterpretation of this tea. So maybe can you tell me a little bit about? Maybe we can all let's do this. Let's make some tea. Because Sherry Ann and I haven't made the tea yet, so we can start making it. And then while we're making it, maybe you can talk to us a little bit about why you're growing Tulsi. Why are you growing ashwagandha? What is it that you could have grown, and you do grow many herbs, but I know that this is kind of a big, they're of the herbs that you grow, you do focus a little bit on these two, and I think you also focus on that that great hyssop, or the anise hyssop, right?
Yeah, not as much as the Tulsi.
Not as much as the Tulsi. So Tulsi, there's a big focus on the Tulsi. And the ashwagandha?
Yeah. And the ashwagandha too, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe you can explain a little. So before we get your explanation, though, Sherry Ann, what I want you to do is I want you to grab the teapot. You can preheat it a little bit, and you can drop the 4 grams in. And then I gave you some temperature-controlled water. If you need to get more, you can come in here, and you can put more in the thermos. Right out of the hot water tower, because we're going to be working with 90 degrees centigrade water for our mix. And what I'm going to do is, on my end, I'm going to also put in 4 grams. Where is it?
Okay.
And then we're going to set a timer, which you don't have.
I have one.
You do? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 4 minutes on ours. Okay. Where did I put that tea? Tulsi and ashwagandha. Where are you, Tulsi and ashwagandha? Not there. Oh.
So we have
right there.
here, we have this awesome blend here. We have like the raw sticks, and then we have which one's which?
I want you to do the blend. The stuff that I put, it's a mix of both. It's in smaller amounts. That's Jaga Silk's Tulsi and ashwagandha. The sticks and the big leaves, that's the full version of these herbs before they've been chopped down. And those are ones that, and that's what he grew. So you should have 3 selections out there. One is kind of like a bunch of chopped up smaller leaves.
Which of the 2 bulk ones is which? I'm so curious.
The sticks is the ashwagandha, and the leaves are the Tulsi.
Awesome.
But you're gonna work with the other ones, right? You have a 3rd one there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I was
Cool.
just...
You're being curious, and I'm not hearing very well. So.
Am I pretty quiet?
No. It's just there's a little bit of a muffledness to the audio, but I think it's just
sucks.
It's all good. So Charles, you want to talk to us a little bit about why you're growing these particular herbs?
Yeah, totally. Well, the Tulsi, it's a bit vague why exactly what Tulsi, but it came because we have success in growing it. It grows well.
Okay.
We have been one of the biggest challenge for us with Tulsi is that it likes hot weather.
Oh,
it grows. It thrives when it's hot and warm seasons. And here in Kamouraska and Saint Pascal, the weather the season is pretty short, so we have to start it indoor. And that we had that success with our with starting the seeds, and because that's the thing. Sometimes people have trouble with germinating the seeds.
Well, how long is your growing season?
Well, we put the Tulsi out, the plants that we've been growing indoor. We take them out after the last frost, which is about the beginning of June, and it froze last weekend on September 18. So that's approximately 3 months and a half. So approximately 115 days, 110 days that we have of growing season. Okay. And it depends. Sometimes we have colder summers than other. But when the Tulsi is out, when there is no more frost, when the weather is over 8 degrees, it's all good. Like the Tulsi will just grow slower. But we've had the success in growing it, and we've been harvesting. It's been one of our main harvests. It's just the way that we manage it. We harvest it once a week, and we only harvest the flowering heads. So the flowers are just opening. So it's a plant from the mint family, the labia, and it doesn't flower all at once. It makes a stem, and then there's little flowers on it, and then the first flowers are coming out, and the flower buds at the end are still closed. And that's a time where you get lots of the fragrance from these flower heads, as at the same time as the plant itself is really, really aromatic. So the fact that this plant is so aromatic is one of the reasons why we grow it, and we have a focus on growing it. It's because of its really strong aromatic side.
Because it's used in Ayurvedic medicine. So I guess that's probably why it's grows so well in tropical regions or in warm regions. Is
right.
It's probably originating from warmer regions, but the fact that it takes so long for you to grow is probably it's a benefit, right? Because for that slower growth, you're going to have a greater concentration of volatile oil, and then that volatile oil is going to give you more flavor complexity, but also more medicinal impact, right?
Right. I believe so.
If we borrow concepts from tea, it makes sense, right? Like the tea that they grow in Nepal, it's up in like upper Himalayas, and the plant struggles. It doesn't do as well as it would if it was in a tropical region, but that is actually to the benefit of the tea in the end, right?
That's it. I didn't know about tea, but that's exactly it for many vegetables, and the fact with colder growing seasons.
Well, like a non-irrigated olive oil will always taste better than irrigated olive oil, right? And that a big part of that, I think, again, is because of is because of that slower growth. I've actually had to move your camera there, Charles, so you're seeing a different part of the bar than the audience is seeing.
Yes, okay.
But so it's a little bit messy. I apologize. But it looks like the camera was in the video. I couldn't put it on the screen adequately enough to get it out of the view of the camera when I moved it for when it was running out of batteries. But anyway, okay. Okay, that's really fascinating. And I guess ashwagandha, though, that's going to enjoy a colder climate, no? Isn't it going to actually do very well where you are?
No, that's the same.
Same?
Ashwagandha will thrive in warmer area, warmer climate.
Mm-hmm.
So we grow it as an annual, and I believe it's a perennial where it can go through the years without freezing. It resists at low temperature as low as 5 degrees, but not freezing. The plant will definitely die when it freezes out, but the roots might survive, and then it could be grown as a perennial then. But in our case, we grow it as an annual, so we start it indoor again, and then we harvest the roots at the end of the season, just before or slightly after the last frost, but not the first frost. Yes.
I guess it's like apparently tomatoes too. Like for where tomatoes are from, I don't think it's supposed to be it's not supposed to be an annual. It's supposed to be there all the time and not die, right? So it's interesting when you take plants out of their kind of their home and you grow them somewhere else. There's the benefit of perhaps a colder environment producing these greater concentrations of volatiles, but there's also I imagine a certain sadness that the plant cannot live to the next year, right? Like, I wonder though, how are you continuing the flavors though? Are you planting seed from one year to the next, or are you keeping the same sort of genealogical history, or that kind of, are you doing more like seed growing like they do in a lot of herb places, or have you ever experimented with taking clippings and trying to preserve that genealogy on a cultivar level with your
definitely. We do this for those two plants. We keep the seeds, and we hope that we keep the seeds from we get these plants record in their genes the hardship of our colder weather.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
They can thrive, and also from the soil, the specific soil of our garden. So by keeping our seeds, we have these plants used to this terroir, also the land in which they grow, the soil, and then the climate.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope that we will be able to get plants that will grow faster in colder climate.
Makes sense. Yeah. No, that's awesome. So it's kind of like you're on a journey. You're on a journey with your Tulsi and Ashwagandha friends, and eventually they might find that they prefer their home in north of Quebec City more than where they originally came from. You never know. It would be amazing. So Sherry-Ann, you have the brew ready? Are you there?
I sure do.
Yeah, you do? Okay. And Charles, you have the Jaga Silk stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those watching, this is herbs that I really wanted to source from Charles. And maybe one day we'll be able to make something happen, and I'll be able to get some of his herbs too, and maybe make it part of our reserve teas on our webpage, because I love what Charles does. And Sherry-Ann, you'll understand very soon when you drink. It's going to be like, this is really good, in my opinion. But I already know without even trying it. And maybe this is all placebo, but like anytime that I've had Charles's teas, they've just been amazing. So,
well, this is phenomenal. I'm a huge fan. I can't wait to try yours, Charles, because I'm a huge fan of Tulsi and Ashwagandha.
It's really nice for the season. Hey, it's like good for calming anxiety. It's antiviral. It's really good for sort of tonifying your blood. There's just a whole lot of benefits from drinking this combination, and used by many a medicinal healer.
Oh, it's probably good for eczema then too.
Probably would be. I would imagine. I don't know. I haven't really heard much about its skin. Its effects on the skin.
If it's good for blood, that's usually helpful for any type of skin condition.
Oh, that makes sense. That's logical. Okay, cool. Okay, okay. So, any thoughts on this? Is this enjoyable to you guys? Does this taste terrible? Are we?
I was really surprised that you put a root with a leaf in a blend, and I know that you've done that with you had anisisop with kava kava.
Yes.
And which we quite enjoyed. And this I like because now the ashwagandha is cut in really small parts, so it can infuse with the hot water.
Yes.
And it gives, like you say on your package, the more earthy taste, the burdock kind of bitter taste to it. So very interesting. It gives another depth to the taste of the Tulsi, which is usually a lot lighter in texture.
I'm a big fan of. There's actually a reason for that. There's a couple. One is very, very practical. If I sell teas to my wholesale customers or even my retail customers that are all leaf, like a good example is peppermint. If I do pure peppermint and I do everything in 40-gram pouches, that 40-gram pouch is going to be really big, and it won't fit any of the packaging that I like to do. So I need to put in something heavy with the blend so that I can get, because I sell by the mass, right? So that I can get it into a slightly tighter package so that it can fit inside of these tins, and it just makes it a little bit more sense, right? But I don't like that to be my only rationale. I want to have a medicinal rationale, and I also want a flavor rationale. And I'm a really big believer in flavor structure. I find the creation of really balanced flavor structures to be a fascinating culinary / medicinal journey. If I can have a balance of bitterness and sweetness and acidity in a blend, and that's amazing. And if I can find a tea that can do that on its own, wow, you might want to check out there. We have an episode, I can't remember the episode number, where we had John Patterson on from Requiem Naturals. And Charles, what he's doing is he's taking, say, like something like fireweed, and he's applying enzymatic oxidation. So he's actually crushing the fireweed, and he's rolling it, and then he's letting it brown and oxidize, and then he's hitting it with heat, just like with tea. And he's actually using tea processing techniques with fireweed, and it's amazing, like really good. He made like an oolong and a yellow tea and a crimson tea, aka black tea, with fireweed. or his sort of renditions of, and it was really, really fascinating, and how that came through. It'd be really cool to try that with Tulsi, hey? Just to see.
Yeah, it would be.
It's just to
It
see.
would be, but I think fireweed is interesting because of its astringency,
Yeah.
which can be compared to tea. And when we visited, we traveled to Georgia in December 2018. In Georgia they produce tea. They have some Chinese people came there and they introduced the culture of tea there, and then. But one man there was into organic tea. He was leading an organic association of tea producer, and he had blueberry leaves transformed as a black tea, and that's another interesting avenue for oxidation of different
I think
herbal.
I remember this. You were talking about this when we visited you.
Oh yeah, probably that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, when you said Georgia and now the blueberry leaf oxidation, now I'm like, yes, of course, we've had this conversation. That's fascinating. That's really cool. Yeah. I guess really the sky is the limit, but I guess choosing if we're talking about flavor structure, like you said, something that has sort of a natural amount of astringency in it, it's probably beneficial if we're going to go down this route, because there's a softening of that astringency that occurs during that enzymatic oxidation. That's totally logical. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So, wow, it's super fascinating. Sherry-Ann, did you have any thoughts on this tea before we start making Charles's harvest?
Yeah, I think it's really nice balance. I always feel really calm after I drink it.
Consume it.
Eat the raw tea leaves.
Yeah.
I do always feel calm. Actually, just the other night, I was a little bit stressed out, just with all the transitions lately in life, and I made a ton of this, and I just drank it all night.
Nice.
And I was so calm. I was like, wow, what a nice balance.
It just kind of chills you right out. Yeah, there's a really nice, like we like to always have kind of like a relaxing tea. And
there's actually no tea that tastes like this. Like, you could be like, it tastes like this tea, or it tastes like that tea.
But
this is like this wonderful balance that tastes like nothing I've had before.
I like when I have, that's awesome to hear. Ashwagandha, I find, can be really, really overpoweringly bitter. Do you not find that, Charles, when it's on its own, it can be somewhat overpoweringly bitter? Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, is that? Are you showing us pictures?
Yes.
Let's blow this up for everybody. Okay, hold on one sec. I need to highlight your screen.
That's the Tulsi in our garden last year.
I don't see it right now. I don't know why it's not showing. It's a black screen. Do you want to try again? Reshare that screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not showing up. Oh, that's too bad. There you are. And then try one more time.
There you go. Is it working now?
It is not working. That's too bad. Maybe another time.
Yeah. That's okay. So what were you saying about the bitterness of ashwagandha?
Oh yeah, I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that. Do you find it quite bitter? Is it part of its like kind of healing properties? Is that it is a bitter?
Yeah, totally. Exactly. That's the main. When we look at the medicinal properties of plants.
Yeah.
We've been very inspired by this herbalist from Vermont called Guido Massé. Guido Massé wrote a book, and he resumes the medicinal properties of herbal plants into three categories. So there is the aromatics, so Tulsi, there is the bitter, and there is ashwagandha, and then there is the tonic. And ashwagandha could be a tonic as well. So he classified the medicinal properties of plants in these three categories for a lot of really good reasons.
Right.
And it kind of simplified also all the theory about what medicinal properties plants have. So it's interesting to just go with more. It synthesize more the complex subtleties between the different properties into the aromatic, bitterness, and tonic property of tea. And then definitely ashwagandha has a bitter taste. That's definitely good for digestion and all what bitterness does for the body.
I think a lot of people kind of steer away from bitterness because they find it unpleasant, but it's really important for the nervous system, right? And I honestly believe that's one of the reasons why coffee is so popular. I think that there's a seeking out of sort of like a nicer, I don't know. People want to have a bitter in their life because they have so much sweetness. It's kind of they're overwhelmed by it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so it's nice to have this. And then I guess though, if we want to be kind, then having the if we want to be kind, then having a little bit of sweetness with that bitterness is nice. It's nice for this. I think we appreciate it. So it's nice that the Tulsi's sweet, so that we can have it with the ashwagandha for sure. Okay, I was just sorry, I must seem a little bit distracted. I'm getting some feedback that there's sort of some echo happening, and that I was trying to fix. It's kind of interesting. Hey, I feel like I'm doing 6 million things at the same time when we're doing these shows. It's interesting. I hope I fixed it. Let me see. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay. Moving forward. Where are we? We are going to try Charles's teas. We've talked about your contact that has inspired you in the States, an herbalist. You want to actually, for the audience, maybe I can spell it out. Or you can spell it out for us. What is the if they want to check out this herbalist, where do they go?
So the Guido Guido.
Guido. Okay.
And the last name Masse. Mase.
Mase. Okay. Huh. All right. Awesome. So Guido Massi is the person that we need to check out. Okay. Cool. Charles's tea. So we're gonna look at some ashwagandha. We're gonna look at some Tulsi. What do you think, Charles? Should we brew these separately and then together, or should we just brew them together and try and do our best for a nice blend? What do you think?
I would brew them together to try to have a nice blend.
Okay, all right, then let's try and do that. So why don't we do, I mean, if it was broken up, I would just say, like, I always start with 50-50 and see what works. But I have this theory that the ashwagandha is going to be quite strong. But I could be wrong. It might be the opposite. Sometimes roots surprise me. They're like super weak. So, but I want to say let's do 40% ashwagandha and 60% Tulsi, just to see.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna get myself a jar. Just give me 1 sec, okay?
Yeah. Cynthia is asking me. She's worried. She says, "Oh, is it whole ashwagandha that they're gonna brew?"
Yeah.
I say yes, and I will reassure her. Ils vont essayer, là, ils vont faire de leur mieux. I'm telling her that we're gonna try to do our best with this situation.
Yes, we understand that it's not optimal. We know that you guys do a good product. It's all about experimentation.
we have a little anecdote with COVID. We've been ordering this grain mill to grind this ashwagandha.
Oh, very cool.
So we got a grant. Also, we applied for a grant. It took a while so that we get all this process. And then when we arrived to the time of purchase, We had we have an invoice with them, and they were sad to inform us that they were out of stock, and I believe that it's because grain mills got very popular with the COVID. It was from United States, a company that does these grain mills since a long time. So I guess people have been raising chicken and cattle, and then they've been wanting more of these.
Right. That makes sense.
So we're still waiting for restock to happen so that we can get this mill and grind this ashwagandha.
Wow, that will be awesome when you can, because that'll be really good for like putting into medicine for sure. I hope you get I hope you get the ability. You might already have it to do cut and sifted ashwagandha. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool. That would be amazing, because we'd get it in a heartbeat if you would sell us some. So for 40%, I put in a very small amount, just 2 grams of ashwagandha, and then I'm gonna do 3 grams of tulsi. I think that makes sense, no?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna try that.
For a cup, like it.
Yeah, just a cup. And then how long do you think we should brew it? Like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes?
4 minutes, like you did for yours.
Yeah, something tells me 5 minutes. I don't know why.
Yeah, but well, that's right. With all roots like this, maybe longer is better.
Yeah, right? So we're probably gonna not taste as much ashwagandha as we'd like because of the situation, but let's see.
Well, hopefully it will give a depth to the brew.
You know, exactly. And I think that what's nice about these root teas when you mix them with leaf teas is they bring so much character to the second and third steeps.
Yes, right, of course.
So
on my side, what I've done, I've brewed the tulsi in this jar.
Amazing.
And then I simmered the ashwagandha roots in this one.
Okay.
And then I will freely mix. Both.
Amazing. That's definitely an awesome way to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 300 grams of water on top to fit the ratio that I had for the other one. So 4 grams for 240 mils is the same as 5 grams for 300 mils.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Oh man, I love the energy from your teas, like the herbal teas. All of the ones that we've ever had from you, there's just such a. Have you ever experimented with your herbal teas with some